Hello, good morning, bold vocalists. It's Carissa here, and I am having my coffee super on brand. So, forgive me if I'm a little sleepy. It is 7:05 a.m. and I have walked my pups, and I'm now in the caffeination stage of my day. Okay, so a couple of things. I really appreciate those of you who've been following along. I keep seeing a new subscriber here and there on my YouTube channel, which is really fun. It's up to 16, which is not many in the YouTube world, but it's huge to me because I've had 0 YouTube followers for a long time. And that's because I never put it out there. I never recorded anything because it's scary AF to record yourself and put yourself out there on the internet like that. So this lesson is actually not what I had planned for day 4 of this series. I'm going out of order because some fun, weird, and serendipitous things happened yesterday. So first of all, for those of you who are emailing me back in this series and telling me feedback stuff that's like, hey, this isn't working for me, or I didn't get this, I really appreciate that because this is a learning experience for me. And I'm doing this because I live in a world currently where I value inspired action taking over perfection. Okay, so for example, right now, I'm going to squeeze this video in because I did not plan this into my day or content. It's being made by necessity because I made some mistakes in my previous videos. So you got to just do sometimes and not worry about the good. So notice today I don't have makeup on. I have a few videos on my YouTube channel where I'm not wearing makeup. That's kind of horrific for me. I'm a makeup person. I mean, really, I'm not. If you know me day to day, I wear not a lot of makeup. I like to just be casual a lot of the time. But I'm also a practical person. I only have so many hours in the day. Putting on a face of makeup takes some time. And also those products are mega expensive, right? My foundation's like $50 a bottle. And I'm going to go to a spin class in 2 hours. So I'm not going to waste a $50 product on my face that I'm just going to sweat through and wash off in an hour. So y'all, this is me, and I'm going to show up like this for you. And I hope it encourages you to do the same in your life. I mean, makeup might not be the thing for you, but just being bold and brave enough to show up for yourself and for the people who count on you, regardless of what that looks like and regardless of what comes up that might be scary about it or might be really confronting about it. Of course, this is scary. I don't want people to see my flaws, but that's also my perfections, right? That's me. This is how I look. This is my literally how I wake up. I put in the messy bun. I don't sleep in the bun. So, anyway, a couple things before I dive deeper into this topic, because today I actually am going to talk about recording yourself and why that's an important part of this journey that you're on in this day and age as a singer. But to address a few things first. Yesterday's video on hydration is an epic fail. And I'll tell you a few things about it because maybe I think you can learn from this just as much as I have, which is one, things are going to go wrong inevitably, especially if you're in a point in your life. Oh, my dogs might bark. Perfectly imperfect is the theme of the day. Okay, so if Pepper. Usually they're in the bedroom when I record. So perfectly imperfect. If perfectionism stops you from doing things, you don't get anything done because perfect is an illusion, okay? Now, can you take due diligence and make sure you're prepared, make sure you're practiced and ready and you know what you're doing? Yes. And when it came to yesterday's video, a lot of things went wrong. I was starting to say, if you're in a position in life, especially if you're trying to, the buzzword, the Instagram friendly word is level up. You know, if you're going to up level, you're going to 10x your life or whatever people talk about in that sphere. If you're trying to break through a glass ceiling, whether you created it or society created it, if you have this barrier that you're trying to push past as an artist or as an entrepreneur or a business, whatever, however your life looks like that, shit's gonna go wrong all the time, because it's just the universe double checking in with you, saying like, hey, are you sure you want this? We're really comfortable, we're really homeostatic, everything's chill. So you're kind of sending these vibes that you want to shake things up, that you want to change, and we're just going to make sure that you're really feeling that way, instead of, if you're on the fence, maybe you'll just settle back down, be comfortable. Don't push yourself. Why would you? No, right? So for me yesterday, that happened with the hydration video, which is a funny thing, because the video I released yesterday, I recorded yesterday, and I squeezed it in between some other recordings that were already planned, because this thing was fairly planned out. I'm a little last minute, and I'm learning to like look farther and farther ahead in my singing life as well as my business life. So that's a skill I'm developing. And the video that I had recorded for the hydration lesson disappeared somewhere. I don't know where it is. So it was gone in my drive. I think I deleted it from my laptop, because once I have them on the drive and uploaded to YouTube, I just get rid of them because of memory space, because they're being held in other places. Well, somewhere in that process, my system fell apart and I did something out of order, and now my hydration video is gone. So yesterday I squeezed it in because I had to send it out, and I didn't check anything. So I have new gear here. I have a new microphone that I got for Christmas. Thank you to my sweet fiance. Because I want to do some podcasting and more recording in the future. So I got a microphone, and that's running through an audio box, which is running into Zoom, how I'm recording these videos, but also I've been using it in GarageBand. So for someone like me, technology is not my favorite thing. It really isn't. Singing is my favorite thing. Teaching is my favorite thing. Eating, cooking, sleeping, playing with my dogs, listening to podcasts. There's a million things. I could list 100 more things I'd like to do before messing around with track configuration in GarageBand and levels on a microphone that I don't quite understand yet. But this is how I want to reach more people in the world, is by showing up on a YouTube, which is scary. I don't like this. It's not comfortable for me. I also want to, put a lot more of my business online to create some freedom for myself in my future. So I'm looking at that. That's the carrot, right? That's dangling out in front. What do I want? Why am I going there? My carrot is I'd like to have a family. I'd like to have financial freedom. I'd like to have freedom of time and space, so that by the time my business is fully up and running and where I'd like it to be, there's going to be some stuff available, and all this content I'm building will be there, and it will be able to make me revenue later down the road, or it will be able to serve my community in times when I'd like to take a step back, right? So I'm building something, and there's this carrot dangling, and I see it really clearly. So to me, being on here at 7:14 now without any makeup, and I haven't even really finished my coffee, it's fine, because I'm walking toward that carrot. Now, the other part of this equation is walking away from pain, okay? So for me right now, I'm focused on where I want to get. So the carrot is actually my motivation right now. But for you, you might be the stick, right? Like you want to walk away from the stick and toward the carrot, because the stick is like our pain point, right? What are we walking away from? And when I started singing, it was the stick, right? I had kind of a rough childhood in a lot of ways, although I was very loved and supported in also many ways. And I'm pretty healed with my parents, and I love them deeply. So I won't go into detail about that, because I want to respect their privacy as well. But there was some tumult in my house growing up, and we have since resolved all of that. But as a kid, when these moments would happen where life just felt a little bit unbearable. I felt very unseen, unheard, unsafe from time to time, just within my own self. And so singing was always something that I found that when I did, it calmed me down. And I don't know if I've ever shared this in a public way before. So this is kind of a fun moment for me, is that it actually made me feel like I was talking to God, or that I could be heard by God, because my voice was very big. I was a small, skinny kid with a really big singing voice. And I remember, in some of those moments of distress, if I would start singing, one, I would stop crying eventually and calm down, because singing is really calming. We're going to get more into this as we progress in this series, how to heal yourself with singing and how to calm yourself through warming up. So, but I remember thinking, like, maybe if I sing loudly enough, God will hear me and he will take this pain from me. Okay. So really quickly to clarify, when I say God, I don't necessarily mean Jesus God or Yahweh, or there's a lot of names for God. I tend to say universe more, or my spirit, my true source, my inner self. So whatever you call it is fine with me. God seems to be, it's tricky because it's been boiled down so much. God seems to be very universally understandable, but it also has some connotations tied to it that I don't mean. And I also referred to God as a he, which is actually totally not what I believe. Uh, I don't know what I believe, but I don't picture the guy in the robe with the hair and the sandals. That's not God to me. And if it is to you, then great. No judgment. I want to clarify what I say when I say God, I mean universe, spirit, connectedness, all one, inner light, inner peace, inner source, creativity, creative divine. Call it what you want. Okay. So singing is a channel. For me, it has always been a direct channel to that source energy. So when I started singing, I was walking away from pain. I wanted to get myself out of these moments of extreme pain. And now I've been singing for a very long time, and now I'm walking toward pleasure. So singing also serves me in moments of pain, but I've worked through a lot, even in the last couple of years, been working very deeply on myself and my mental health and my spiritual wellness. And now I'm singing and doing my business and as walking toward the carrot. I want to go toward pleasure, not just away from pain. So I want you to consider today where you are in that journey. Are you singing to relieve pain? Are you singing to move toward pleasure? And no answer is right or wrong, and you may be somewhere in the middle, but it's part of how we're going to get to know the why, and we'll spend more time on the why later in the series as well. But I wanted to share that with you because right now, my goal, my carrot, is bigger than my fear, because it's not worth it to me to get stopped in my path. I'm going to make myself a life that I can very clearly see. We're creative people, musicians, we're creative people. If you're here, you're probably creative. And I believe all people are creative. So on some level, we have to just kind of access that. So for me, yesterday, a few things went wrong. I didn't check my video. I was sloppy. I'm going to just go ahead and own that for you. I was sloppy. I didn't check my hydration video because I had to squeeze it in a window because I lost the first one. And I basically did everything wrong. And when I published it, I did a lot of steps wrong. I learned a lot. I lost it. I did not follow my own protocol on the original video. And then I went into panic mode and was like, oh, shoot, I have to get this out. So I re-recorded it, and the recording was pretty good. Like, I looked super cute and I had my slides, and actually I had messed up the hydration video once before. So this is the third time I've recorded it. And the one I'm going to record after this to replace that one will be the fourth time I've recorded it. And something's just kind of gone wrong every time, but it's these things in life that go wrong for us. They're meant to teach us. They are very learnable moments in our lives. And here's what I learned. We need to think farther ahead. plan farther ahead, right? And that goes for you guys in your singing journey as well. I know my YouTube maybe doesn't apply to you in some of these ways, but you need to create the framework for success, which means if you have a goal, we need to think a bit further out for all of us and put some structure in place and then honor that structure, which I did. And the stuff, is sometimes unforeseeable. But then because I got into rush mode, into panic mode, I didn't do all of my checkpoints that I normally would do. I didn't watch the video back. I didn't, when it uploaded to YouTube, I didn't watch it back there. I didn't send a test email before I sent it out to the group and test it there because I was rushing. I had to be somewhere, right? And ultimately, that failed for me and for you. I didn't hear back from a lot of you, which is a little concerning because it means that some of you probably aren't watching the videos, because you would have noticed that there's a really crackly, loud distortion in the microphone. And that's okay. If you're not watching, it's up to you whether you watch. And maybe you can give me some feedback if you are watching. What's resonating with you and what's boring your pants off? Could be this. So I'm going to re-record it. I'm going to send it again. I'm also going to update you guys with the other videos and change the settings on the YouTube to public for now, so that just in case you're having any trouble with the privacy settings, they're going to all be public until the end of this series. At the end of the series, I am going to take them down because they're going to go into a private group module. And you will all be invited to be as part of that private group. I'm going to offer you toward the end of this, and we'll keep talking about it as we go. I'm going to offer you an exclusive beta testing rate for my group coaching program online. And it's going to be a really exciting group, and I can't wait to launch it. So that's happening at the end of this series. But, this feels like a very coachable moment to me of, I'm not perfect. In fact, I am far from perfect. I'm learning like you are, just like you are every day. And the point is, I want you guys to go ahead and just put yourselves out there and get something done, because even though it was messed up and I got to do it again, which is a learning, I still got it done and I still did it. And I didn't let the fear of it stop me. And I didn't let the fact that it was embarrassing and wrong stop me again. I'm going to be here today doing this again because I'm not scared. Come on, let's go. Let's learn some things together, right? So on that note, I want to encourage you to record yourselves either on YouTube or on your phone or on just even a GarageBand or a handheld, like your voice notes app, because you might find when you play it back, a lot of people don't like how they sound when they're recorded. They don't like the sound of their voice. And I have long time ago made peace with my singing voice on recordings. And absolutely there are moments when I go, ooh, I thought that sounded different, or like I think I'm hitting a pitch cleanly, and then when I hear it back, I'm really not. So there's a few things involved in that. And one is that we don't hear ourselves the way that we actually sound because our voice is being filtered through our body, right? So all these hearing mechanisms are kind of located in the ears, nose, and throat. This system is all very tied. And we are using the sound waves from our voice to vibrate all over the place, like in the cheekbones, across the nose, and in the jaw, the teeth, right? And this is all really tied together. So the sound you hear from your voice, excuse me, it's so early. Oh, the sound you hear from your voice is not how it sounds coming out to the world, because you're dealing with a lot of frequencies and vibrations actually happening within the structure of your face. And you're hearing that filtration of the internal, okay? So I want you guys this week to, if you're singing on something, I want you to practice recording it a little bit and playing it back and seeing if I want you to be gentle. Don't hate on yourself. This is not an exercise to pick it apart. And I'm going to get off here because I'm getting a little lengthy, but I want to share one quick little story, which is one of the first top 40 bands I was in. I have a lot of like overdrive kind of tendencies in my voice. It's really big. And when I was young, I was still kind of learning to control that. And the first band leader I was in, I'm going to even call him out because honestly, he's a jerk. But his name was Dorian. This was in Miami. He had a band called Pangea. And in Pangea, there was a lot. There was a singer he loved to death. They worked together for like 20 years and she left. I was supposed to be her replacement and I was kind of a rookie. So I went in and I was singing a lot of the songs and it wasn't sounding exactly how he was used to hearing another singer sing it. So he decided he wanted to record me so that we could improve. But what Dorian did was he recorded me and then basically played it back and picked it apart and just was like, well, this is wrong and this is wrong and what's happening here in your voice. And maybe, this is probably 15, 20 years ago at this point. Maybe I'm exaggerating it, but I remember, I'll never forget, I walked through the Target after that. I was in Target on the phone just sobbing to my mom in Target, just crying my eyes out because one, how could I sound so horrible? And two, this person took it upon themselves to point that out to me in a really unkind way. So this is not that. Don't be mean to yourself. Realize that you sound differently to other listeners and on recordings than you do in real life. And I'm making peace with my speaking voice as we speak, as I'm talking to you and as I listen to this back, there are cringeworthy moments for me and I have to just take note and analyze and adjust and adjust and adjust and readjust. And that's how we sing too. So I'm going to send you a new hydration training and a recap of all the videos I've done so far, which is only 3. This is number 4. That way, if there's any accessibility issues or confusion, you'll have them all in one place. And if anybody's joining onto this group new, they'll have them all in one place. I'm also going to post this video, and your homework for this video is to record yourself. And I want you just to notice what's there. Notice what kind of feelings it brings out in you. Is it making you want to shut down? Does it make you feel proud? Does it make you wish you could do better in some ways? And I want you to really take note of that so that you can make yourself at home with the sound of your own voice, because it is how you sound. The recording, I mean, the equipment helps. Nice equipment helps you sound good. So your phone memo notes is not going to be as nice as something else, but it is basically how you sound. And that is a very real truth that we all have to get used to at some point. But the longer you avoid it, and the longer you avoid singing in a microphone because you don't want to hear your voice come back at you, or the longer you avoid getting on YouTube because you don't like this chin roll or this eye flap or whatever it is that you think is awful about you, it's not how others see it. It's not how others perceive it. It's not how you should be focusing your mind, right? Let's get on to the positive. Let's grow. Let's up level as a group. Thank you for listening this morning. Your homework is recording and videoing yourself this week, and maybe do a little journal practice about it and see how you feel. And I will update your resources right now. Thank you for your patience while I learn. I love you guys so very much for being here. Thank you for subscribing to the YouTube. That makes 16 followers, makes me the happiest girl on earth. So if that's not a practice in gratitude, I don't know what is, because in the YouTube space, that's tiny. But you guys, that 16 of you that have hit that subscribe button, you mean the world to me. Thank you for your support. And I hope you're getting value from my videos. Have a great day.